You are live, and I think that means that's a good thing. This little red setup and eyes on me is always a good thing. Not that I'm conceited, but welcome to another installation of Tuned Into Tennis. I'm your host, Miles David, and we are talking all things Wimbledon, Monday, July 1st, 2024, the official first day of Wimbledon. What a day it was.
Mhm.
And for it to be the day that it was to kick off the what I think it's the 137th edition of Wimbledon, I'm glad to be joined by none other than original Tuned Into Tennis community member from Clubhouse, Mr. Nigel himself, my water sign brethren and fellow creative and musical genius. How you doing,
Oh,
Nigel?
thank you, genius. I'll take it.
We know we're passionate about our art, so we got to pour into each other when we can.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm doing
How you
good
doing?
though.
You doing good?
Yeah, it's a day. It's hot.
Why is it hot as
It's
hell?
it's not actually that hot today. It just is hot in my house because I cooked today and I don't always do that.
Oh, what
So
you cook?
I had made a steak
Oh,
and just some broccoli and some mashed potatoes that I already had.
oh,
So
you making it seem like it was just some ramen or something. No, you threw it down.
I threw the steak on the skillet. That's what the broccoli was, steamable in the bag. Then I put it in the air fryer to give it a little extra je ne sais
You know
quoi.
what? Not now that I have lived my life with the convenience of an air fryer, I can't see myself going back. And I
I
low-key have
know.
two. I have a convection oven that has an air fryer setting, and I have a
Mm.
Ninja air fryer. You know how I be on, I don't know if you was on Twitter Spaces when I was in my chicken Caesar era, and I low-key still am.
I
I'll
got the
put
black
some.
community in the chokehold right now. I'm like, y'all need chicken Caesar salad, chicken Caesar burger, chicken Caesar hoagie, chicken Caesar lollipops. I don't got time.
It's just good. And
It is.
I don't even know if some people know that anchovies are in Caesar dressing. I don't think I knew for the longest time. But
Oh,
anchovies, it's optional. But like when you look down or the breakdown of a Caesar salad dressing, anchovies are up in there.
that's probably what give it the saltiness.
Yep, it get a
Mm.
little,
A little kick.
a little kick, a
That
little kick.
sodium. It's the sodium. That's all we like is the damn sodium. The salt.
I cannot. I absolutely cannot. But let's get tuned into the tennis that was day one of
Oh yeah.
Wimbledon. Um, how do you feel? Like, what are your overarching thoughts now that you've watched the official beginning of the third Grand Slam of the year?
I liked today. I don't know what it was kind of crazy, but like not
Hmm.
too crazy, but like I don't know. I think I just like Wimbledon. I was like happy that it's not Roland Garros and like
That we're out of all that clay, right?
all of that dirt. Yeah, like I thought everything it was a lot of like big names on one day. Like I
It
found
was.
myself trying to figure out like, oh shit, they're playing too. I like them. Oh shit, they're playing too. They're like everyone's in the third set, everyone's in the fourth set. Like so I was flipping around a lot and trying to be strategic. But every time like I thought like I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna settle on this match, I would see someone else like that's popped up on the I'm like, damn, I didn't know they even started up already. So
I like the fact that like something about Wimbledon in particular. I guess the U.S. Open has this as well because I've been there a couple times. There's like a mania to it, especially those first couple of days.
yeah.
You don't know where to look, and I can only imagine if you're on the grounds. It actually might be a little bit easier because you obviously are you're one person with two legs. You can
Yeah.
only watch one match at a time, so it might be a little easier. And you got to think about, Wimbledon calls it queuing and waiting for stuff. Like
Right.
they love to queue for breakfast and beans and Wimbledon apparently.
Yeah, because I feel like the French Open, I don't unless I'm rewriting history, I feel like there weren't that many. The first day I was like, it's kind of boring,
You
but
know why? Because they have traditionally started on Sunday and they break up that first round into 3 days instead of two.
yeah. Yeah, and that's what also made it seem extremely long.
But they also have lights and Wimbledon doesn't.
I know, and well, you guys told me earlier that it's more about the noise thing, but I always wondered if it was about having too much light on the
The
grass.
lights make noise? Like the humming of
No,
it, I
no,
guess?
no, no. Like that they don't go past a certain time because of
Oh,
noise
yes.
ordinances.
Because they're in, like, a little community. Yeah,
Yeah.
tennis is so ugh. Like, just complete the matches, but we'll
It's
we'll
like why,
we'll get
and
on to
then
that.
it's also like why are you there? But I guess it's been there forever. It's like
Been there forever, over 100 plus years, and y'all are worried about people making noise in the community. Like, it ain't
for
this ain't and, like, if I was living there and I just could not stand the thought of Wimbledon being in my backyard and I knew what it was gonna be, I'd schedule a vacation every year.
yeah, and I'm sure people that live around there have the money. Well, I'm
Um,
assuming. I'm
I'm
making assumptions.
assuming.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
we're making the generalization, but I don't think it's too hard to make that one,
Right.
personally. Um, there were some big headlines to hit the grounds really within hours of play of, unfortunately, players that said they weren't going to be able to compete Wimbledon due to injuries. And let's start with the biggest one. Let's go ahead and rip off the band-aid because Arena Sabalenka did the same thing. Hey, Karan. Karan is also an OG member of the Tuned Into Tennis community way back in the clubhouse days. We see you, Karan. Anybody else that's listening to this live or watching me and Nigel live on YouTube or Twitter/X, feel free to comment your thoughts while we chat about Wimbledon. Always feel free to engage in chat and do all that good stuff. So back to what I was saying. Miss Arena Sabalenka has officially withdrawn from the
Damn.
2024 Wimbledon Championships. She was a defending semifinalist last year. She lost to Ons Jabeur. Um, and she said that she's heartbroken to have to tell you all that I won't be able to play the championships this year. This tournament means so much to me, and I promise I'll be back stronger than ever next year. She pulled out due to the same reason she pulled out of the lead up tournament in Berlin due to a rare shoulder issue, according to what she's been saying to the press. I don't know what the name of the shoulder issue is, but for all accounts, she's been stretching it and throwing footballs and having personal trainers just kind of feel and touch up on that shoulder, and apparently it's just not good to go. So she will not be holding down that number 2 seed, and I believe she was replaced by a lucky loser, Erica Andreeva.
Yeah.
And Andreeva got the win today, so a lucky loser benefited
Hey.
from that. But, right, benefited from that. Got a first round prize money check, get going into the second round. But unfortunately,
Okay.
Sabalenka can't do it. So, what what were you thinking when that news dropped to our feeds and
That
phones
she
and
done
stuff?
that she done messed up my damn draw. So that was the initial one, but my second one was like so much tennis. Like in the last 8 weeks, like she like tussled a lot, like through the clay season, a
Mhm,
lot of 3-set matches, long 2-week tournaments that I don't agree with for the Masters
mhm.
1000. Um, I think it's been like a interesting year for her. Just I think a break is needed regardless. And sometimes I think an injury break, even though it's like not for the best reasons, is a good thing because she's been consistent for what the last 2 years, last two
Pretty
years.
much when she broke through that, like, never been to the second week of a major. Because if you
Hmm.
remember, we go back to 2021 Sabalenka. It was
Hmm.
here at Wimbledon where she finally got to the quarterfinals or beyond of a Grand Slam.
Yeah.
She had been producing on the WTA tour level for years, but it hadn't
Hmm.
really culminated at the Grand Slam level. And now we fast forward to now, we basically see her at every semifinal of every major.
Exactly. Exactly. So
And
I think
that may be the cause of that shoulder issue because she depends so much on her serve.
yeah, and I think sometimes I look at the way she kind of I kind of like Shelton too, the way she kind of goes up at it. I'm just like it's a lot of yank on that. So I don't know if that's the reason, but those extra matches that she played longer, and then she still was getting deep into tournaments like that. It's just I think it's good for her to rest, and she's not playing the Olympics, so
Somebody tell John Isner that because he didn't know on Wimbledon's ESPN broadcast today. He was talking about Sabalenka having to unfortunately withdraw, and then he goes like something to the effect of, "Well, she can focus on the Olympics now." And I'm like, how do me and Nigel know she's not playing the Olympics and we don't get paid by ESPN, but this guy
and they
is?
yeah, they just show up. I'm like, and they announced it a while ago, so you didn't just get the job, like this morning.
That's another can of worms for a different day, because at least ESPN is giving us all the courts to watch. I guess I'm trying to find something to praise
Yeah,
them for, because we know
yeah.
Tennis Channel, sorry, tennis coverage can be abysmal at times. But today wasn't too bad. But
I mean, you still have to be somewhat blessed because I think it's ESPN Plus, and then you have ESPN for the networks, and then ESPN 3, which is kind of like in the middle. So
hmm
like usually by the end of the tournament, somehow, some way, I can't see the main court. So then I end up watching ESPN Espanol. For some reason, they'll still show that, which shows the main court. And I'm like,
mm.
that's fine because I don't have to listen to the old guard in terms of the commentators. It's just Ace.
And that's the one, you know they hit
Right.
an ace. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
sometimes clicking on that, opening up my screen, even this morning at like 5 a.m. I'm just not thrilled to be looking at who's in the studio talking tennis. It's not.
Yeah.
I'm not thrilled to look at them. I'm not thrilled to hear. I'm not thrilled to engage. It's just not. And if I feel like that, somebody that's literally tuned into tennis week by week, and you watch tennis week to week, I don't know how
Hmm.
we can expect a casual that's just flipping through the channels and be like, oh, let me see what they're talking about, and they talking about how they played with wooden rackets in 1965. It's just not
But
fun.
I do think that you don't realize how annoying they are until you start watching it more. Because for
Mm.
all you know, what they're saying is true. Like, oh, this guy's never done anything, even though he like probably won a warm up tournament or some shit. So it's like you're like, wow. And they even like what's his name, Chris Fowler can make
hmm
like a story around it and make it sound kind of epic. But then if you actually know even just a little bit, you're like, what are you talking about? Like this
Yeah, you're
this
trying to
man
add
has
some
been on his
color.
way.
Yeah, which
Yeah,
we appreciate added color. It's just
yeah, it's gotten to the
let's
point of
let's just say it could get better.
yeah. At what point does it become?
At what point do it get?
Do
Isn't
it
that a
get?
meme?
It is, but
Where's that from?
I don't know. It's been in my stuck. It's been stuck in my head all
Oh,
day
you
for
know who
some
it's
reason.
from? You know who it's from? Jasmine Masters.
Yeah.
At what point? At what point do it become? I haven't seen her on my timeline anywhere in a minute.
In
I
a
guess I don't
while, I know,
know.
right?
I hope she's doing good.
Yeah, you
Because
never know.
the other meme, when she was sitting there with her bob and she heard something like kind of shooting or fighting outside the house, she's like, "What's going on back here? Everybody here go to work." She's had some iconic moments. Oh, of course, and all that
Yes,
all that is from Miss Jasmine Masters. I hope she's doing
yes,
good.
yeah. Where's she been?
I hope she's doing good. If
Me too.
RuPaul need to give her a contract or something and put her back in the public eye.
You might be asking the wrong
Um.
one.
So there was some other announcements of withdrawals. So we can just combine these two together. Hey Jay, I know that's right. Thanks for tuning in to Jay. Um, and who else had withdrew? It was Alexandrova who was
Alexandrova.
scheduled. Alexandrova who was scheduled to play Emirata Kanu on center court, and then also Victoria Azarenka who was scheduled to play Sloane Stevens. Both of them had announcements. Alexandrova said she had an illness, and believe it or not, Azarenka said she also had a shoulder issue,
I know.
a shoulder issue. So both of them pulled out kind of sort of at the last minute, hours before they were supposed to play,
Yeah.
and gave some lucky losers a spot. Did you feel any way about either of those?
No, but for Vika, I was like, well, maybe that because I didn't know who to pick between Vika and Sloan.
hmm
And I think I ended up picking Vika, less of a fantasy. But I wanted Sloan to win, but I was like, I think the last few times Vika had gotten the better of her. And I
hmm
think Vika has I was more success on grass. So I was just like, okay. So again, someone else messed up my draw, but I'd rather it be Sloan. But
Yeah, I know, right? I mean, the silver lining is that Sloane Stevens moves on to the second round, a place where I feel like she should be consistently in Grand Slams, but doesn't always
yeah.
show up. Because didn't she lose in the first round of the French Open this year? Which is something she normally doesn't do. I forgot who beat her,
Either
but
it was Putin Saver, because if Putin Saver beat her
oh
badly,
yeah,
she
yeah.
had
Putin
beat
Saber is
her
her
like a
nemesis.
few weeks before. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I didn't see any of the matches, but Putin Saver dragged her, unfortunately.
I had the
Um,
Sloane Stevens match on today. I can't say that I like watched it enough to give some hardcore analysis of what Sloane did to win that match, but
yeah.
she won it, and for that I am grateful.
Yeah, I watched a little bit of it, and I say she looked sharp. Like, Sloan kind of always does just enough. Like, so she was able to like get into winning positions, and
hmm
she was hitting. I mean, she was hitting her forehand and even the backhand a little bit, keeping the ball deep. So I like when she gets a little momentum. So hopefully, getting past the first round gives you something.
Yeah, hopefully, it can egg her on in some way or another. And then the other opponent that was supposed to play Raducanu was replaced by Mexican player Renata Zarazura. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Zada
And
Sarah, something like that.
Zara, you know what? Let me
Sort of.
let me Zara
They heard.
Zara Zaza. No, not Zaza. I actually really was impressed by her game, so I want to make sure that I find her name and pronounce it to the best of my abilities because it's the least we could do. Everybody else on ESPN doesn't do that, right?
I remember her last name sounds like a full name because I thought that was her full name when they were
if
first saying it. But
if I get it, I know it's gonna fall off my tongue once I get it, but I just gotta see it again. Renata. Wait, no. What am I doing? Oh, schedule.
that's right.
Renata Zarazua. That's the best I can do.
Yeah.
Renata Zarazua, lucky loser from Mexico, a 20-something who got the chance of a lifetime to play on center court and really
Yeah.
made the best of it. I think. I mean, she lost to Raducanu 7-6-6-3, or Raducanu beat her 7-6-6-3 rather, and it was
Yeah.
competitive. It was competitive all the way through.
Yeah. I couldn't get like a big analysis on what she was doing to trouble Raducanu. I do
Mm-hmm.
think the center court was a little slow, which didn't help Raducanu.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but that tiebreak she played well. And Raducanu was fired up. I was like, okay, Emma, Miss Emma girl. She was yelling across the net and all of that. So I'm glad to see her to have some fire in her.
Yeah, that's good to see, especially considering she was at home. And I think the interviewer post match said basically as such that this time last year you were either just recovering from or about to go into a surgery on all bits and parts of your body. I think she had
Yeah.
ankle and wrist surgery. She missed out on Wimbledon in a large chunk of tournaments last year. So to get a straight sets victory, although it was competitive, especially having to navigate and she said this on the court, having to navigate playing somebody different 30 minutes before or
Mm,
whatever. I don't know if it was exactly
yeah.
30 minutes, but the morning
It
before you
wasn't
were supposed to
long.
play. Yeah, she was supposed to play Alexandrova and she had to just completely kind of change her mindset. So kudos to her for doing that. I do like
Hmm.
when Raducanu shows that in my mind, she's more than just that U.S. Open.
Yeah.
I really want to see her. It doesn't necessarily have to be a grand slam victory, although I'm sure that's the ultimate goal. I just want to see her consistently kind of put that narrative behind her that
Hmm.
was just the one thing she's going to be known for in her career. You know?
Yeah. I think she just needs an opportunity to grow.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been so like your career started in like a way that isn't typical. So
Mm-hmm.
you kind of start on a high and then it's like all this money's thrown at you and you're going to big tournaments that you probably would have worked up to. So her body didn't really adjust the way I think most players would. So it's she's definitely just in a scenario that's not common, um, based on how she won that US Open. I
And
mean, some players do it, but there's
who
usually
does
a
she
build
play
up
next?
beforehand. Oh,
Emma Raducanu. Let's pull it up.
she's in the top part of the
She
draw.
plays Elisa Mertens, actually, who got a win
Oh,
today.
that's right. Because Melissa said that earlier. Yeah, Elise Mertens.
Which I think that's actually, I mean, all things considered, Elisa Mertens is nobody's like scrub. She's pretty much a tough out no matter where you put her on a surface or what part of the calendar. But I still think Raducanu, if she plays her absolute best, makes that a match. I think.
I think if you're a player who wants to get far in a tournament, that's a good person to play early.
Elisa Mertens, yeah,
Yeah.
she gonna give you consistency. She'll give you a
Yeah,
ball to
it's
hit. Yeah.
yeah, it's someone that's competitive that has experience. So you overcome them. It's never an easy match, but they're beatable, but she's
hmm
beatable at the same time. So I think that's a good match to like build confidence on.
Yeah, and once you come out on the other side of it, you should have some sort of rhythm, because
Yeah,
that's what Mertens kind of provides naturally. So
yeah. I want to
shout out
see
to
Emma kind
Raducanu.
of. I want to see her like go after her forehand a little bit more. I feel like she was massaging it a lot today, which kind of reminds me of what she was doing like a year and a half ago. So, but hopefully,
Mm.
yeah, she gets to that more aggressive mindset that I saw her do like during the warm up tournaments.
Yes, against Pagula. I watched some highlights of
Hmm.
that match, and she was going after it any chance that she could, even to the
Yeah.
point where Pagula was like, "What the hell is going on?
Now who the hell is?
Who did this? When this started? When this started?" I mean, but it's
Okay.
I can only imagine as an opponent having to prepare for Raducanu. You don't even know what kind of angle to work with because you haven't seen
Hmm.
her, but you have seen a lot of her, and you don't know which
Yeah.
Emma is going
You
to
don't
come
know
up to
which one's
play.
gonna.
So
Yep.
right. But all the best to Miss Emma because I know this phrase gets used ad nauseum sometimes. It doesn't always get used the right way. But I do think though, because of all the attention surrounding her, the more she wins, I think in general that's better for the sport. You
Oh,
know?
me too. Yeah.
So I'm cool with it. So those were the withdrawals, and we segued into people that we watched. So I watched a good bit of Miss Raducanu do her thing. Let's stick with the women and go to somebody that's in a similar age bracket and talk about Miss Coco Golf because Coco Golf got her a win on center court as well,
Hmm.
which we
She.
always appreciate. Oh wait, what did I do? What happened? Where did Nigel go? Was that me?
Oh, there you go.
Was it me?
I don't know. I can't tell.
Technology. And the
A
whole time
little
I'm trying to
bloop.
find this
It
picture
did.
of Coco.
It was like bloop.
Bloop 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 bloop.
Check.
Coco. Coco defeated Caroline Dolehide in the first round of Wimbledon today, 6-1, 6-2. She looked very, very
Oh, that's a nice
impressive.
picture.
It looks like a champion's picture,
Hmm.
especially with the blonde braids. Now
Hmm.
the kit looked good. Although I mean, this hope it doesn't this doesn't come off weird because I'm a guy saying this to a girl, but I would bring up the hem of that dress just a little bit more so
Yeah,
she
it's a
looks
fashion.
yeah as a
It's a fashion.
fashion yeah
Yeah.
so she looks less like Venus at 30 and more like Coco as a 20 something. Because
Yeah, it was a little long. It looked like it was made for Venus, how long it was, you know?
yeah, like because Venus got some legs to cover, and so does Coco.
Yeah.
But if I'm New Balance, I'd be like, you were perfect except that one little thing. And her game was pretty perfect too. Like I didn't see huge bouts of loss of focus. The
Yeah.
serve and the second serve was pretty tight. I mean, tight in a good way. Like she knew how to use it. And I mean, Dolehide, people might push back on the fact that she isn't a dangerous opponent. She's made a WTA 1000 final in the last 12 months in Guadalajara.
Yeah.
Coco played her in Australia, and that match was also much tighter than this one. So
Right.
I think Coco had her guards up. What were some of the things you were impressed with Coco's victory
Um,
today?
I actually thought this match would be kind of tricky.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because she's a first, Delhi's a first strike player, and Coco has had issues. Like they played the last two times they played, which the other one was this year. They were two tight sets, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
So she can push Coco and kind of get to that first ball strike easier. And I thought that, I don't think Delhi has much experience on grass, but I thought that her game still would kind of lead her to a similar outcome. So I was very impressed by Coco. Her spacing looked good. She looked confident. That first serve, which is kind of where I think she kind of gains her confidence, was good. And the ball was out in front. I feel like the ball wasn't getting too close to her body. She's using the width on her forehand and getting the backhand down the line, playing good defense. She had one point where I think High hit like a smash, and she kind of hit the backhand and it lobbed over. I was like, okay, it was just, and
Yeah,
I
that
don't,
was one of the points of the day. Yeah.
yeah, and I don't get Coco being, and this is part of her being young. I don't get too many. I don't see as many matches of Coco being start to finish dominant. But
Mm.
this one was a good one to watch. So I was like, I don't even want to turn it off because I wanted. She did kind of have a little dip towards the end, but not enough to be. She did all the work beforehand that she still won with a good score line. So I was very impressed.
And I mean, just like zooming out, big picture of her career, isn't it crazy that it was 5 years ago or so that
Yes.
she was unseeded playing Venus on court number one? I think was that center court or
Hmm.
court number one? I think it was court
I
number one
can't
when she played
remember.
Venus. It was a big
Probably.
one. It was a big one. And then
And
fast forward now, she's a Grand Slam champion and number two seed. Like that's really incredible, you know?
and mind you, like Emma, like that was a that was a she qualified.
Oh,
She
she sure did.
qualified
Yeah, yeah. You know
and
what?
didn't drop a set.
She didn't she didn't get a protected ranking or a wild card like some of the other people we've been
That's
talking
what I'm
about.
saying. Like she had to work. She worked into that thing, and still sad that Venus lost. But hey, we had to change of guards, as they say.
Yeah, Venus is living her extravagantly best life in Europe and
Oh,
everywhere else that she can go. So
I
I'm
am
not feeling
very
too sad
happy.
for her.
Yeah, no, not
The
anymore. But back then, it hurt. I was happy, but
yeah.
hurt at the same time. I was like, no.
Because if you're going to lose to somebody, it's going to be an upstart that showed potential, and Coco has kind of fulfilled that potential. I mean, not even
Yeah.
kind of. There's still more to be accomplished in her career, but if we
Hmm.
look back in just that 2019 breakthrough to 2024 beginning of Wimbledon, it's a massive difference in the kind of competitor she is and how people look at her, and the resume that she has is strong as hell, really.
Yeah, and I mean, she's a strong number two. I mean,
Hmm.
she's making consistent semifinals, quarterfinals at the slams, so her name's always in the bunch. It's not like one of those people that's like, oh, you're number two because
How?
the rest of the tour is in shambles. It's like, nah, she got titles to her name,
Hmm.
consistency to the set to deep runs and slams. So hey,
I don't know. Every time I see her, I'm proud of her. In
so proud.
this specific picture, I think somebody made a correlation. Let's see if I can find it before I post it here. But somebody made the correlation to her and the 2002 Serena Williams look, which I, for one, appreciated because I love that look. The blonde hair was blonding. Where are my
Yes.
bookmarks here on this damn Twitter?
I
I'm
was
trying to
thinking the same
show this so
thing
y'all
this
can see
morning
this.
when I saw her wearing the blonde.
Really? You're like, oh, I see it. I see it.
I'm hoping that it translates into the championship. All she needs is a tiara.
Now, I feel like that'd be a little exciting.
It's a little too
I
it's
love
a
her,
little
but
too on the nose.
it's a little too on the nose. Even when Serena did, I was like, "Girl,
I loved it. I loved it. Yes.
it is iconic." Let me see if I can pull it up right here. I think I got it. I got it right here. There we go. Yeah,
Mm.
that's good old Serena Williams, 2002 Wimbledon champion, rocking the blonde braids
Wow,
and
I'm
that
about to grab
big
my
ass
food.
Wilson record. Look how big it
Big,
is.
so big. Like
The hyper hammer days.
I had one too. It was so
Everybody
big.
did. Who didn't want to
My
be a Williams sister?
and my backhands was going to the fence.
I am weak. No, don't open my email. Don't do that, Miles. Come on, come on, MacBook. Work with me, not against me. All right, let's move on to another winner for the day. I think we got on the schedule Naomi. Yeah, let's go to
Oh
Naomi.
Jesus, yes.
Going from Coco to Naomi sounds like a good segue to me. Did you watch most of that match?
Yes.
How do we
So
feel? How are we
the
feeling?
the first the first set, pristine. My gosh, kid
Hmm.
terrible, but she was hitting that ball, and I mean, she was smacking the ball like just. She just looked like she had it in the zone. Like there was just this confidence that was exuding. And then the second set, I was watching, but I was in a meeting, and it's like 15 minutes. I was like, now hold the hell up.
Nah, well,
And
how did
it's
that happen?
yeah, and Diana Perry's picked it up a little bit, but not enough. Naomi was just hitting the ball to the fences at that point. She was popping up her head a little bit and seeing where the ball was going. And I think she picked up a little bit that, Perry was playing a little bit better. And then she got broken. And I think at that point it was in her head. And it's still just that thing of her trying to close a match or play a complete match the way she would when she was on top. And I think she pressures herself there. But I didn't see how she got out of it. But then by the third set, it was choppy. It was some good tennis, some bad tennis, some good tennis, some bad tennis. It was just whoever could
I
get to the
honestly
end
do
first.
feel I honestly feel like I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt. Normally, I'd be a little bit more ready to critique the fact that her matches have had that common thread of kind of like being
Mhm.
up and down. But I really have to keep in mind that her baby turns 1 tomorrow in July.
Oh,
I didn't
wow, I
know her
didn't even
baby
realize
was a
that.
cancer. I didn't know baby was a
Oh.
cancer. Look at that. We love to hear it. But like her baby turns 1, which means she was in labor a year ago, and she's
Yeah,
been on the tour for 6 months now. And she
yeah.
tweeted something real cute after her match victory that she's now back in the top 100. So like all of that
Oh,
considered,
thank God.
yeah, I know, right? No more having to depend on wild cards, right?
Yes, I really needed her to be in there by the end of this tournament, by hardcourt season.
And that sets her up for major success. Even whatever happens at Wimbledon, but that sets her up for a part of the season where she knows she walks onto the court as a threat and a comfortable threat. And I'm talking about
Mhm.
the U.S. hard court swing. And I'm okay with the fact that like it's been scratchy for the
Yeah,
past 6 months, because even if you look at the last 6 months, there's been moments where it's like, oh, there she goes. There's the
right,
4-time Grand Slam champion. So
right.
today was like a perfect microcosm of that. Like, and she was playing against a player who is scrappy and does things that
Yeah,
Osaka does not really like on a tennis court. Like,
yeah,
you know,
a slice.
a slice. Just
And
that
she not
simple, a
fit a
slice.
slice either. She just like, "I'm gonna get down to this ball." And,
If I could, go ahead.
I was gonna say, and I do always remember that Naomi's own timeline was October. So I'm like,
Mm-hmm,
by
mm-hmm.
that standard, she's making great progress. Like,
Very great
and
progress.
and we're not even on her like favorite part of the year. So
I'm excited to see what happens. Speaking of slice, though, going back to use that word, the more I look at this picture of her kit, I want to slice certain parts of it off because I'm
hmm
not sure. Like, I think she looks really good in a ruffle. Like, remember that 2019 US Open look that had like the orange vest and like the skirt was kind
hmm
of pleated and had,
Yeah,
maybe
it was
pleated
like
is the right
a
word.
almost like a Harajuku type thing she had going on.
Yeah,
Yeah, I love that kid. That's one of my
yeah,
favorites.
that's a lane that I like for her.
hmm
I think somebody in Twitter Spaces called it or said it looked like coffee filters.
Oh, I said that to a Jay earlier, and then later on today, I said it looked like Clorox wipes. It was so bad. I actually turned it
Yeah.
off for a second because I was very distracted by it every time they showed her, because in the front it's like pleated at the top and then it came down, so it looked like a I don't know. It was just very weird. I was like, it's giving Sheen, but I
Not
got
she by
over it.
she in. Naomi, we love you. We just don't love this kit. And
I do not like the kid, Naomi, but I love you.
if there's other options, please pull them out for your next round of Wimbledon. We'd be ever so grateful.
That has been my prayer that she has more, especially since this is like a separate thing. I'm like, she probably has some things going on.
Hmm.
This was just, but I said I was like the only other dress that I think I compare this to is that Alice in Wonderland dress from Venus in
Who
Australia.
we shan't go back there because
We shan't.
that was
We ought
quite.
not.
We we ought not. Wait, why did I just had a flashback to Dr. Heavenly at that reunion when she was talking to Mariah. What did she tell Mariah?
I don't even know
Um
that one.
you don't know Mariah and Dr. Heavenly were going at it about something. And you know, not Mariah, Dr. Heavenly loves that your mother comment, even though it's so
Uh
childish.
huh.
And Mariah, yeah, I remember now. Mariah called Dr. Heavenly dingy, dirty, dusty, and Heavenly said, "Your mother, and you ought to know it when you see it."
Grown woman, by the way, love it.
grown, grown, established women, a doctor talking about your
Exactly.
mother.
When it comes to
great,
my mother,
great television. When it comes
great
down to
television.
my mother,
To my mother.
and shout out to Naomi for being a great mom, and
Yes,
happy early birthday
Sky.
to Shy. I thought it's Shy.
Oh, don't get me. Oh, Sky.
I'm pretty sure that baby's name is Shy, which I thought was
Okay,
cute because
no,
Naomi's
yes.
Shy. No,
No, I think you're I don't know if you're right, but I feel like Sky might be
Naomi
Monfils.
child's name.
Sky might be
Yes. Naomi Osaka's child. I don't want to. I don't. Come on, Google, work for me,
not
okay? Not
not
against
Naomi
me.
Campbell.
Yes, her daughter's name is Shy.
Okay,
Um,
then Monfils' daughter is
Shai.
Sky.
Yes, that's cute. Look at that.
So
Shot.
is Monfils and Spitolina's daughter Sky?
I'm pretty sure it is. Let's Google that as well. While we got Google up, Monfils' daughter name. Sky, Skai, and
See,
Osaka's child's name is Shai. I doubt
y'all
that.
got
I don't know if they took inspiration from that or from each other. I don't know, but
I
it is
need y'all to
cute.
get a little creative, but okay. No, I do like
Imagine,
both names.
imagine in 20. Okay, let's add like 18 years to them. Let's do the 2046 Wimbledon Championships, and we got a
Sky Monfils.
Sky Monfils versus Shy Osaka
I'm
quarterfinal.
here for it, you
I know,
know.
right? It'll be fun. It'll get the girls
They
going.
got to get past Olympia Ohanian.
Olympia and Sharapova's son. I think Sharapova has a son. No,
I
never mind.
forgot she
They
had
would
a
be.
baby.
Yeah, I know, right? And all the girls that we grew up have reproduced.
Right. Shoot, Ash Barty's child might be up in there.
Right, right. Yeah. Everybody. I mean, by that point, Belinda Bencic has dropped a baby. Kvitova has dropped a baby. Like,
Kerber
that's
had her baby.
Herbert. Yes, Herbert did
Kerber
have a
Gerber.
child. Herbert, Berber.
Oh, that's probably gonna be the top 20 right there.
we just
All the
we just named all the kids. And if they're not in the top 20, I'm sure there'll be, tennis socialites or something. Like
Oh yes.
we're gonna know who their parents were. I would hope. I don't know if I was
I'm gonna
Osaka's
gag.
baby. If I was Osaka's baby, I'd let everybody know it.
Okay.
Like, my mama got money.
Okay. And slams. I know
and
what I'm doing.
and a Hall of Famer. Okay, put some respect on my mama's name.
Okay. She don't have to see it because she knows it. No, that would be a
Mess. It really will. I'm crying that we just named like the top 5 women's tennis 20 years from now.
gag.
Let's get into the men. Oh, any other women any other women matches that you watched that you kind of wanted to comment on before we go to the men's side of things?
I was happy for my girl Diana Schneider. Is it Schneider?
We
That's
like
my
her.
girl. I love
with
her.
the
I
do
like her
rag
game.
/ babushka. I like saying babushka now.
She didn't wear it today.
She didn't have it on?
No, she just wore a ponytail. She must have found an all white one. But she I love her game. She just looks like very easy power. I also like the way she moves. She's a lefty. I was happy she got rid of Pliskova. Sorry, Pliskova. Not really, but like
not really sorry.
I need you going. Like I just need the old guard to like
go off.
Like
yeah.
move on. Like let it go. But no, I was happy she got the win in 3 sets. And who else? Oh, my girl Kin Win lost.
Yeah. I think Jin Kin Win has quite a lot of potential. I mean, we saw it on display in Australia. She made the Australian Open final. I'm just not sure how she reins it in, because this might be like the worst loss of her career as far as a top 10 player goes. Like, she lost to Lulu Sun, another lefty that qualified, but like on paper, Jin Kin Win should not be losing that match. But also at the same breath, that's why you lace up your shoes and go out there and play. So
yeah, and I'll say I don't think she has much experience on the grass. So I'll give her that.
Now, how she got low experience on the grass, but she managed to beat Osaka in Berlin a couple weeks ago. I don't like it.
You gotta talk to Naomi about that.
I don't like it.
Do.
I don't like it.
It can't be a matchup problem. I don't really get that one either.
Because they've played, Jin Kin Win and Osaka have played a couple different times.
They played at that grass tournament, and then they played sometime during the clay season, which I thought Naomi got the best of one of them.
It was Rome.
It wasn't. Yeah, and they weren't like close.
Yeah, maybe that'll turn into a rivalry. Parariba. Oh,
no,
because it's Wim Facet. Yeah, because Wim Facet worked with Naomi first. Then when Naomi was on maternity leave, he worked briefly with Jin Kin Win. And as soon as Naomi wanted to get back on the tour, she got Wim Facet back, which took Wim Facet's job from Jin Kin Win. So I don't think they have beef there, but I think that gives Jin Kin Win just a little bit more incentive to play well.
And then somehow Kin Win now has Parariba,
which is Coco's old coach, right?
Yeah, but I think he had. Was he with Coco? Was he with Naomi? With what's her name first? I don't know. I saw both of them up close. They was in the gym all day in Miami. So
who you saw? Who up close?
Kin Win and Parariba. They was at our hotel.
Is Ken Win tall?
Kind of. She's not like Venus tall, but she's tall.
Mm-hmm.
She's like I think she's taller than me. I think a little bit. So she's probably
Okay.
like 5'11". Um, yeah, she's pretty tall. But yeah, they went to the gym
With
all
it.
day.
Any other women you wanted to highlight? Not in the gym. Any other women you wanted to highlight?
Who else was? If I
Let's
can't
look
think
at
of
the
them,
list
probably not.
actually. Well,
Yeah, we could do that.
I know, right?
Definitely.
Oh, well, you know what? I know you're not thinking about this girl, but Bianca Andreescu got a nice win today in
I can
straight
say,
sets. I know
yeah.
that's not your fave, but
Congratulations, happy birthday.
she got a good win.
If she could give me a
She's
good
what?
6 months, she could give me a
Mm-hmm.
good 6 months of good tennis. I'm fine with it. She get on my nerves sometimes, but I do root for her to beat certain players and stuff like that. So if she's gonna be consistent, fine. But if she's gonna do all this and then leave again, I don't like that because now you didn't did all this and now someone else could have won and now you about to be out for a year. I don't have time for that. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm not.
I like Bianca. Similar.
Congratulations. She does
Happy
bring something
birthday.
to the tour.
Similar to what I was saying about Raducanu. I know it doesn't always come across well to certain people, but I do think Bianca, with the eyes that she has on her and the game style that she's able to produce, she just is able to produce fun matches. If she's getting that ranking high up enough and is seated at Grand Slams and is just playing consistently and healthy, ultimately that's good for the sport because
Yeah, I agree.
she's a fun watch to me. She's a fun
She
watch.
is. She is. Even if like she just brings a certain type of drama to the court sometimes, even if it's just in her play. Like,
Yep.
why are you in this 3-set tussle? But she will. I
for,
do like
for no
some.
reason.
Yeah, and I also do like someone that will make a comeback, and she will try to make a comeback in a match. She don't give up. So, see, I gave somebody they
Respect to
sevens.
Miss Andreescu. Some other women's results, just to kind of pan through the results. Maria Sakkari got a straight sets win. She's the number 6 seed. Anastasia
Messing up my draw.
Pavlyuchenkova. Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova took Taylor Townsend straight sets. Win. Daria Kasakina, who just won Eastbourne, she got a straight sets win over Zheng Shuai, who has made headlines for the wrong thing. I don't think Zheng Shuai has won a match since 2022. She's on like a 21 match. Yeah, she's on a 21 match loss streak now, Zheng Shuai of China, and yeah, more power to her.
Wait, hold on a second. See, when that happens, how are
Uh-huh.
you in the main draw at Wimbledon? That's what I'm
I am
saying.
not
Like,
sure. I'd have to look and see if she got a. I don't think she got a. I know she didn't get a wild card. I have to see if she used a quote unquote protected ranking or however that works. I'm not sure.
okay. See, that's why I get confused sometimes because I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, once you get into a certain point in tennis, it is very hard to fall off to like not
Mm-hmm.
get. So like, it's very gatekeepy and I don't know what the word is. It's very,
But it is odd that somebody that would be on a 20-something match win streak just gets direct entry to a Grand Slam.
Yeah, it's
I get
crazy.
what you mean. Meanwhile, we had Giovanni and Pesci Pericard, who was 60-something in the world, struggling to qualifying. It doesn't,
Right.
based off of who was cut off, or based off the cutoff date of rankings to get inside the main draw. It's just weird. Tennis is
Yeah,
tennis will always be weird.
always.
Let's see. Paula Badosa got a win over Karolina Muhova. Surprisingly, there was no trainer call for. I don't think that's a win for both of them. And Madison Keys got a straight set. So, and also a French Open finalist Jasmine Paolini got a straight sets win over Sarah Sribes.
Oh,
So
yeah.
this bottom half of the draw could get interesting. Just mentioning the names we just mentioned today, all of these names have certain amount of appeal and game style that if we kind of throw them all in a hat, it could be 4 interesting next 2 weeks for sure.
Yeah.
If they play well and kind of start meeting up with each other.
I think I'm getting some weird. Are you getting a little stutter or is it just me?
A little bit, but nothing that is throwing me completely off.
Okay.
I think our technology is working. Knock on wood. I think our technology is working for the most part with us today.
Okay. Yeah, it seems like it stopped.
Okay, cool. So let's get into some of the men's results. Let's see. Start at the very top with defending champion who opened up play on center court, Mr. Carlitos Alcaraz, reigning French Open champion, defending Wimbledon champion, and number 3 seed based off how things worked out with the rankings at the time. He lost some points because he did defend his Queen's Club championship from last year. So right before the seeds were made, he dropped down in the rankings to number 3. So that's a little unfortunate, but he's still a strong favorite to go deep. And he was. Did you watch any of that match?
Yes.
How do we feel? The most I got was that like he won in straight sets, which is the biggest thing. He was obviously tested, and his opponent had an interesting hair day.
I mean, that kind of figures it out. I assumed that he would have to work himself into this tournament a little bit more, just because he doesn't have as much grass, under his feet, and going all the way at the French. And 2 tough matches at the French between Yannick and then Zverev. Then you celebrate. Then you got to do it all over. I always say, like, you don't get much time to celebrate in tennis. So then you got to go back, do it all over. You go to Queens, don't win your title, whatever. You go to Wimbledon, try to do your training. You got to get the grass under your feet for a little bit. So I think with him, it's always going to be the earliest rounds to me that he's most vulnerable. But he wasn't playing badly, I don't think. He just, maybe in the beginning of the first 2 sets, he was a little distracted because he got broken early in both sets, but then he would break right back and clearly won those 2 sets and just used his experience. And when he needed to lift his game, he did, which is something he just has a lot of levels to him sometimes, and sometimes I forget about it.
That is a great way to describe him, Nigel. He has so many different ways to like end and create a tennis point to go his way. And sometimes I feel like we've heard it with Roger Federer before. Those that have like a really vast tool belt can sometimes get caught up in trying to figure out which is the correct weapon to deploy. And tennis is so fast paced, and you really have to make the right decisions. If you have so many options to choose from, sometimes you might just choose the wrong one, and before you know it, you're down a set, or you're in a struggle because you've kind of been employing the wrong tactic on the wrong day against the wrong opponent. But in reality, if you're playing your best, you can kind of do what needs to be done in the tight moments, even though you've kind of been struggling to pull out, this wrench, that why am I talking about tools? But either way, Carlos has them, and I've alluded to it already. Maybe I should find a picture to go along with the stream. But his opponent's hair left a lot to be desired. Maybe I shouldn't say left a lot to be desired, but I, for one, was like, well, okay, what's going on here? Because I wasn't quite sure. I don't think I've ever seen a man from Estonia. I don't think I've ever seen a man from Estonia rock the dreads the way that. Oh, there we go. There's a good picture. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a man from Estonia rock dreads that way. What was his name again? Mr. Mark.
I don't know how to say his last name. I think when I saw it, I thought it looked Arabic, but it's not.
Mark Lahal. Mark Lahal. Yeah. From Estonia. He is. How old is
21, right?
Come on, phone, work for me.
Between 21
he's 21. Born in 2003. Serena had already won a couple Wimbledons.
Okay.
That's crazy. But yeah, I didn't know what to do with that hairstyle.
Yeah, that's a mess. Maybe it looks better when he puts it down. I mean, I'm not a big fan of locks on.
You can say it, white people. You can say it. He's from Estonia. You can't really get much more Caucasian than that.
But hey, but it does add character. It adds something to talk about to the game. That don't mean I like it, but I do like something to talk about. He just look like a cockatoo or something. I don't know.
He gives created topspin 2K25 player where you just wanted to have complete freedom, and do whatever the hell you wanted to do.
When they used to just put the thing on random and come out with like a cardigan and the sweatpants and shit.
and neon blonde dreadlocks that are shaved on both sides. That's what it's given.
On both sides.
Yeah.
If
he likes it, Oh, not Machine Gun Kelly. If he likes it, I love it.
I
I
don't really
guess.
think he does.
I
I
think he
want to see
does.
how it looks down. Like
Somebody said he kind of gave Davidovich Fokina, but if Davidovich Fokina got locks, and I can kind of see it now. The more I look at this picture,
yes, because Davidovich is very blonde.
mm-hmm. It has that same kind of skin complexion, and he
Yeah,
withdrew from the tournament too.
I was just about to say that.
Was he the one? Was he the one that withdrew and gave Giovanni and Pesci Pericard the lucky loser spot? Yeah, I believe
I
so.
think so,
Because
which I
Giovanni
was happy
plays
about.
Sebastian Corda, and Sebastian Corda would have played Alejandro Davidovich Fokina
Hmm.
had Fokina stayed in the draw. So
See, all
that's
things work out
I know
for the
all
greater
things
good.
work out for the greater good. Hallelujah. But yeah,
Okay.
Carlos dealt with the threat and dealt with the kind of the jitters and nerves of
Yeah,
opening center court and
yeah,
playing an unknown player really that no one knew, because if we don't know him and never seen him, that I know Carlos had.
yeah. And I think it was important and good that he didn't drop a set. Like,
Hmm.
let's not waste energy. Your body is, you put your body through a lot. I don't need you wasting energy out there, kid, until, later stages.
Hmm. Somebody that kind of has some issues with their body. His good rival and friend Yannick Sinner
Oh,
uh dropped a set against Yannick Hanfman on center court. Oh, was that court one? I believe. I think it was court one, but uh, he was able to work through
now
that and get the victory at the end of the day.
I
So I
didn't
think
see
that's good. But
any
that
of
is
that.
also something to take. I just saw the slips and falls, and then ultimately Yannick kind of being the athletic, smooth guy he is on the court and doing what needs to be done to win that match. But evidently, whatever he was going through was enough to kind of bother him or shake focus enough to drop the third set, I believe. So it wasn't like dire, oh, we have an upset on our hands, but it was like, okay, something to kind of keep in mind, especially because if you're me looking at my fantasy draw, Yannick Sinner is my champion. And I
Me
guess in
too.
some ways, that's going on because he's never even made a final of Wimbledon, let alone won it. But he's still the world's number one player, the top seed, and I don't want to say I've never seen anybody a court like him, because that's not necessarily true. But the specific way that he does it and is able to do it on a grass court is quite impressive. Because, like, on one hand, when I see him sliding shots on grass, I get a little nervous because that's typically not where you do it,
Yes.
right? But when I watch
Yes.
him do it, it is like, oh, this is kind of what he was built for. Like,
Yeah.
he's
He's one
he's
of
good
the
at this,
he's
and
one of
just to
the
see that on display is crazy.
yeah, he's one of the few male players that I think are tall, but uses their legs laterally and defensively.
Mhm.
But I don't know how to explain it, right? But yeah, I have him winning the tournament too. I think he's always been good at grass. He had 2 sets on Novak, not last year, maybe the year before.
Yeah, it was
Hadley,
2022. He was up 2 sets to love
yeah.
on
So
Novak.
he had the sets on Novak. He's a better player now. My only concern with him is he has a lot of miles on him right now. Like between
Hmm.
last fall and now, he just like hopefully he gets a good break
Hmm.
after this. But yeah, I as long as he stays healthy, I want him to win this tournament. I didn't get to see him play today, but my my whole goal to this year was like I want Carlos to win the French because he needs the French, and I want Yannick to win Wimbledon. But if Carlos ends up defending his title, I'm okay with that too. But
I like the pipeline of, like, because I guess because Serena did it so many times, but Australian Open champ and Wimbledon champ, and then
yeah,
somebody else can be the French Open and U.S. Open champ.
yeah,
I like that. I feel like Serena never did. A couple of seasons she did all three of those, but I liked when the seasons like 2009, 2010, when she did her
hmm
big ones at Australia and Wimbledon.
yeah.
I enjoyed that. So, Center, if you're a Serena fan, go back and watch those matches. Have you been
I think the
seeing?
surface is good for him.
It is, but have you been seeing those TikTok videos where they create their perfect Wimbledon player?
Yes, yes, yes.
I think it's been interesting because I think I saw Iga Swiatek's one today, and like she had Serena right there, and she gave Serena praise. She was like, "Oh my god, I want all of her stuff," and then she ended up like skipping her on accident, which I thought was hilarious.
It was very. I was like, okay. Because I'm like, serve is right there. Like, how'd you hit the wrong one? But I was just like, okay.
But
It
then
was,
that's really not she gave credit where credit is due because like although Serena serve is the cornerstone of her game, she could have easily been in one of those. Well, I don't think I put her in the touch category, but the forehand,
yeah,
backhand, speed, and mentality category, I definitely would put her in that category
yeah,
if I could, you know. So
yeah. But I'm like, for Iga, if you need, I would take Serena serve. With that, I mean, with Serena serve and Iga, the rest of Iga, she's fine. Like, she's
yeah,
probably,
I think her face popped up and she picked forehand even on grass. So
yeah,
good
that
for
was
ego.
interesting.
Who else? Oh, we you know we let's instead of asking, let's go over to my guy Francis Tiafo because
Oh, yeah.
he did something in his career that he's never done, and I think that is good, all things considered, with his season because he came back from 2 sets to love down to beat Matteo Arnaldi of Italy. And he did so with a knee brace and a sprained MCL he had from last week, you know, still on the court. I mean, I don't think his movement looked overtly hampered, but all in all, it was good to see him get a win. And honestly, he was 0-16 before this when it came to like best of 5 set matches and then dropping the first 2 sets. He's never come back and won a match. So to do that with the disappointing season he's had so far, with the injury that was only 2 weeks away, I was impressed because
I was too.
I watched a lot of the first set and the second set, and I kind of tuned out because he was up 2-love in the second set and ended up losing that second set 6-2. So that means he
Yes,
lost 6 games in a row. Like,
I really gagged because I was like, I didn't have him winning this match. I
right,
was like,
right.
he's not playing well. He hasn't had anything, and I was like, also Arnardi's like knows, he's kind of like working his way up. So
Hmm.
I was just like, okay, he lost the first set, and then I was like, oh, he's up a break, and I don't know if I turned the match or something like that, and I was like, I was the second set 6-2. I was like, I don't know what's going on. I do feel like on some points he wasn't moving as much as he would, and I don't know
Hmm.
if that changed in the third, fourth, and fifth. But and then there was sometimes where he just kept slipping, and I don't know if it's because he wasn't secure on landing on that knee. Because one point it was a backhand, he literally just I was like, how did you? I don't know how he slipped on that, so I don't know if it's the knee or if he was just trying to find trust in it during the match, and
Hmm.
after that, I feel like he was doing really good with the serve plus one, and he did show a lot of like grit of like you could tell he did not want to lose this first match, and I was like happy to see that. He still was doing his smiley stuff like that, but he was, come on and yelling and like very intense. So I was very happy to see that. I was like, hey, let's make a
I
turnaround.
am impressed by the match. Like I said, I'm impressed by the fight back. Hopefully, in some way, we can look back at this, even if he doesn't win Wimbledon, which sounds like a stretch at this point. We can look back and see that this was kind of like the beginning of the tide turning, so we can get back to see the Francis that's happy on the court and is a consistent top 20 player. Because again,
Yeah.
this seems like a common thread on today's show. He's one of those players that if he's playing his best, it's absolutely great for the sport. So
Mm-hmm.
it's not been fun to watch him, but I'm interested to hear your take on some of the quotes he gave in press immediately after that win, where he, you know what? Let me just find the quote so I can say it verbatim and not play with Francis's words because I got somewhere here. In Francis Tiafo, quote, I was losing to clowns and took the game for granted. He said after his comeback on Matteo Arnaldi, where is it? Where is it? Uh, quote, it's brutal highs and lows. Think about where Matt Tiafo said of his own experience has been talking about mental health issues in men's tennis. Quote, literally this week, last year, I was 10 in the world, and now I'm barely seated here at Wimbledon losing to clowns. I hate to say it, but I'm just going to be honest. I took the game for granted and got a little too comfortable. You stop having fun with it and you find yourself in a weird position and you kind of forget what you were doing to win. Those were his quotes to press afterwards. So
Well, there's some part of it that's good self-awareness, like
Mhm.
forgetting what you were doing to win. But I'm also
Mhm.
like, well, why you lose your coach? But the clown thing, you know, if that's what he needs for his self confidence, it's whatever. Is it going to be good for the public opinion for the tennis public opinion? No. Would it probably be good for like people outside of tennis who see him and don't follow it? Probably. It'd probably be a good soundbite for them. But the tennis landscape's not gonna like that language. Especially I think he's been referred to who called him a clown? Oh, it was Yannick. I think Yannick called him a clown
Did
before.
Yannick call him an actual clown? That's crazy.
I
First of
feel
all,
like he did after that match. When he beat Yannick, and he was did he beat one? I think he won. I can't remember, but he was using a lot of crowd participation and stuff like that, and being
it
silly.
was in Vienna 2021. I remember that. Yeah,
It was an indoor tournament. Yep, and I think Yannick called him somewhat of a clown. Um, but it was definitely a choice. I don't know what to do
but
with
you
it.
gotta. I think like if you just read that and I guess because we are both fans of France, we're giving him a pass a little bit on this. Because if somebody else had said that, I'd be like, "Who you calling a clown?" But
Hmm.
if you know Francis and know like the way he speaks, I don't think he would have said that with like direct intent to diss everybody that he's lost to over the past
No, I
year.
agree. It's
He
one of
probably
those
uses
things.
the word clown all the time, you know?
Yeah, no, I agree. I think it's one of those things that's like lack of a better word, and he's not someone to think twice. Um,
Hmm.
so for me, like I agree, like for Francis, but like I said, I was like the tennis landscape's not gonna like that. I wouldn't have said that either, but I don't think it affects him in the long run. I think it would have been worse if like Ben Shelton said it, like with all the heat on him or something like that.
Does he have heat on him, or do Novak Djokovic fans just not like him? Which one is that?
I mean, that's it, and that's unfortunately a large portion of the internet. So,
Right. They be coming from everywhere to talk about my boy Ben Shelton. And Ben Shelton actually didn't finish his match today. He was in a tussle against
Bellucci.
Bellucci, a good left-handed player that I don't think I've ever actually watched play, but I did watch the tail end of that third set and was impressed by Bellucci. And hopefully Ben Shelton can come back. I don't know when they're going to schedule that match. Hopefully tomorrow.
Yeah,
Because
I have seen him play. He is good. I don't know where he's been since the last time I've seen him play, but he is pretty good.
but Ben
Like,
Shelton needs to kind of get it in gear because grass could be advantageous for him, but I think he's still figuring it out. And while he's figuring it out, the likes of the Bellucci's of the world are going to take advantage of what he's struggling with, So,
okay, I think my stream's
oh, did I lose you?
catching up now.
I'm still here.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, I think that footwork is going to have to get better. Either that, or he's going to have to play really aggressive tennis and maybe serve and volley more often
Hmm.
than he does. But he just, something I would say is that I don't know if I like watching Ben that much. If he's not when he's not playing well, it's kind of I can see how he annoys players because it's like he's just throwing everything at you.
Hmm.
You don't get a lot of rhythm. You don't know if the ball is going to come at 150 miles per hour at you, or if he's just
Hmm.
going to, drop shot, come to the net, but then when it's not off and he misses, I'm like,
I
but I
just
like when
I'm
he's
worried
good,
about
I
that
love it.
arm. I'm worried about
Yeah.
that arm, especially because he was wearing a sleeve. And like I think technically there are great things about his serve, but I can also see how it's super shoulder and elbow
Yeah, it's very,
dominant. Like not that he doesn't use his legs, but like it's
yeah.
just I can see how that shoulder and elbow is just putting in overtime, especially when he's been having such strenuous matches. Like his matches have a lot of them have not been straightforward, and I guess some of that is
Yes.
because inexperience and figuring out where he is in the tennis landscape, but a lot of it is just not knowing um how to employ his game the best against the best competitors in the world
Yeah.
that now have been Shelton as like, oh, I want to beat him because he's a top 20 something ranked player.
Yeah, and something's different because I'm like, when I saw him play in Australia that first time, I was like, "Oh, wow." But it's
Mhm.
since then, I'm like, something with the footwork and the strokes seem very clunky. I don't know what it is, but I hope he can. I don't know if he's gonna have to like maybe bring both arms up on the serve to relieve him of the because he, like you said, he has a lot of knee bend. He doesn't need to have that much, but you can see him put like all of that shoulder into
Torque.
the
Yeah, it's a lot of
yeah.
torque.
But like you have the knee bend. Maybe he needs to work with Andy Roddick too, because Andy Roddick, it was all his knee bend, and he didn't need the. But I think of Ben being like an old football player,
Mhm,
and I feel
mhm.
like he is
Yanking that arm, yeah.
quarterback. Yeah,
And it's
um,
different doing it on a like a tennis scale because it's
yeah,
repetitive.
because it's
Foot
coming back from here
Yeah.
versus straight there.
Football
Yeah,
is like, sometimes I can give it to the quarterback. I mean, not the quarterback. I can give it to the running back and
yeah,
and kind of rest my arm for a couple of plays, but you can't do that in
yeah.
tennis. You literally have to serve. So
They need to get a handle on it now because
yeah, I would agree.
like you messing up that probably the center point of his game.
Yep.
But I don't know. I hope and wish him the best. But I mean, I think it's hard. I still think he's also not great on natural surfaces yet. So we'll see how he does this
There's
summer.
that too. This I mean, but he did win a title in Houston, even though Houston clay is not like European clay.
Yeah,
It's something, I guess.
yeah, yeah.
I'll give him credit where credit is due.
Our
Some
Americans.
other some other our Americans. Another American to get through to the second round today was Tommy Paul. He beat Pedro Martinez in 4 sets, which is good. He
Oh, he did
continues.
win.
He did win. Yeah,
I didn't
yeah,
know if
yes.
he finished. Okay.
6-2, 6-1, 4-6, 6-3. He carries that momentum from Queens into the second round of Wimbledon. Some other notable names to get through their first round match. Gael Monfils beat Adrian Mandarino, the 22nd seed. Gael Monfils is unseeded, but he beat him in 4 sets, 6-4 in the
Yeah,
fourth.
he needed to
Ma-
win that one.
Matteo Berrettini, also unseeded and dangerous, beat Martin Fucsovic in 4 sets, 6-1 in the fourth.
Battle of the models.
Daniil Medvedev got a pretty comfortable win. I didn't see any of that match,
He
so I'm just
played today.
he did right.
Oh my god.
He beat Alexander Kovacevic of the United States in straight sets, and then also another American that got a win, Brandon Nakashima. He beat the 18th seeded Sebastian Baez 6-2, 6-3, 6-4.
Yeah, I
That's
think I had
that's a
him
really
winning
good
that
win.
match because
Yeah,
like
Sebastian,
Baez is
a clay quarter through and through.
yeah, but that's a good draw to pick up probably like
Hmm.
a good seed draw. Like
Oh,
that's a good first round you want.
speaking of a good first round, Casper Ruud won his first round too. I didn't have him getting out of that. I know you played an Australian Open, not Australian Open, but I know you played an Australian qualifier. But he won in straight sets, and Casper didn't play any lead up tournaments on grass, so that was good to kind of
Yeah.
see him. Not good for my fantasy draw, but good for him.
Yeah, because he don't give a damn about the grass.
Yeah, if he loses, I don't think it's going to be too much sweat off his brow, really.
Yeah, but I
Um,
feel like he could be good on it. It's just I don't know if he cares about it. We'll see.
Two lefties got a win today. Shapovalov got a win over
Oh,
19
okay.
seeded Nicholas Jari in straight sets, and also
Oh, I had him losing that.
you had him losing to Nicholas Jari.
Yeah.
Jari hasn't been in great form since his run in Rome, really. So I had Shapovalov as a slight favorite.
Wait, is Jari the one that played well in Miami?
He made the final of Rome and lost to Zverev. I think Jari may have played well in Miami, but he's from Chile, kind of
Yeah.
tall. He wears that nose
Yeah, yeah,
strip.
yeah. But there's a few Chileans that have been making their rounds. So yeah, I think I picked him on the basis of that Miami run. Oh wait, did I lose you? Oh yeah, he's stuck in there. Oh, I think I lost your mouse. Let's see. Oh, there
All
you
right,
are.
we're back. Sorry about that.
No problem.
I'm
I was
glad.
about to
I'm
say.
glad the streaming site doesn't completely shut down after
Yeah.
uh, glitch because woo, we're still in the game.
Still in it.
But I was saying Nicholas Jari is the guy that wears the almost the breathe right nose strip from Chile. Remember
Okay,
him?
yeah.
He's the
Yeah,
one, but
he had
he hasn't been in great form since that run to Rome. He lost in the first round of Roland Garros too. So
yeah, that was a tough one, but I picked Jerry, I think. So that's a good win for Chapo.
and Shapovalov is a former semifinalist at Wimbledon, and then also our lefty Chinese up and coming king, Shang Jungqing, aka Jerry, aka
Yeah,
Jerome.
Jerome.
he
Yeah,
ble-
I watched some of his match. Yeah.
he looked. Did he look pretty good?
Yeah, I thought he looked pretty good. He was like, I feel like he was moving pretty comfortably. He was hitting
Hmm.
some balls with some different heights and shape. I was like, I like watching him. So, I didn't get to see him finish it, but yeah, from what I saw, he was playing really well.
Yeah, straight sets win over Christian Garin is good. And also to end it off of men's results that are notable today, Grigor Dimitrov beat Dusan Lajovic in straight sets. So
Oh yeah, I missed Grigor today.
those are your notable men's results on day one of Wimbledon 2024. You want to get into some of the matches that are going to be highlighted tomorrow on
Yeah,
day two?
yeah. Let's see. I didn't see too many popcorn matches to be honest, but
Well, the first, get your popcorn ready because the defending champion on the ladies' side opens up center court. Uh,
against
Marketa
me.
Van
Oh,
Drusova.
Vanjusa. Oh Lord, I forgot that's.
That's
Why
who
am I
won, right?
thinking Iga won it last year? What? No. Oh
Yeah,
my gosh.
right.
Who does she
Marketa
play?
Van Marketa, she plays, let me pull it up here. She plays don't zoom in that much, Miles. She plays a Spaniard, Jessica Buyas Manito. I think I've seen her name before because she's young, and I kind of have just done some research on the young guns on WTA tour.
Okay.
But Von Drusova is interesting because she also has some injury concerns coming in, and
Yeah.
we're not sure what it's going to look like for her, especially defending champion. All that kind of jitters opening up center court on the second day of the championships, like that'll be interesting to say the least. But
I forget what she had, but I thought she would be questionable for Wimbledon. So I think I was kind of surprised that she was in the draw. But I can't
yeah,
remember why.
I think she's going to give herself the best shot. Hopefully, she doesn't. Hopefully, there's not a repeat of what happened today with the women, kind of like the big major names, kind of withdrawing before play gets underway. Hopefully, she's
Yeah.
healthy enough to go out there and compete, and may the best woman win on the day.
Yeah.
Following up Marketa Vondrousova on center court is Novak Djokovic in his Amazon knee sleeve. He takes on Vit Capriva of the Czech Republic, somebody I've never seen play. So Djokovic is obviously favored in that. All eyes will be on him and his movement to see if he actually did have a major knee surgery or not.
I can't remember any time where he's had like an interesting first round, but I mean, I guess
Hmm.
that's men's tennis in general.
Hmm. Yeah, you get what you get, I guess. Oh,
Yeah.
and then yeah, speaking of men's tennis, also on center court, I think a lot of people are going to be holding their breath for this one. Andy Murray is scheduled to play Thomas Mahach in his last Wimbledon, and all the your face, all the things that have been happening with Andy Murray in the past, week or two with his spinal surgery and not being able to finish his match at Queens, and obviously this being his swan song. I am not sure he's going to be able to take the court, so it'll be
Yeah.
interesting to see what happens.
I like Andy Murray and all that, but I'm like, it's the same thing. Even shoot, I know. Look, with Venus, sometimes I'm like, I don't. It's hard
I
to
don't
watch you
want to
look
watch that. Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
in pain and stuff like that, but I think he wants to leave it all out there. But like sometimes I'm like, y'all say that, but like you never know.
You don't know
what
what could
that means.
happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can leave it all out there. You not be able to walk afterwards.
Exactly.
Like,
That's what I'm saying.
and is
Like,
it worth it? Is it really worth it? Can you really put it down, flip it, and reverse it?
yeah.
Is it worth it to have a spinal surgery and within weeks of it
Yeah.
come and play professional level tennis? Not like a little
Yeah.
yin yang around the house. He's not like he's going.
No.
He's like he's going to play hit the ball up against the back wall. He's going to play against another guy who's been on tour and wants to beat him. Like,
On a terrible surface that he
yeah,
may slip and fall in. Like, you know,
people are gonna
I
be holding their breath. Yeah.
yeah. I would hope that Andy Murray gets very good clearance before he plays. Like a doctor's clearing it and he's not being like, F the doctor, I'm just gonna play my last
I'm
Wimbledon. So
Superman. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Like, no,
I'm
no.
sure I'm gonna assume that like he'll make that good decision and hopefully like we don't
Because
have to see any of that.
he's young. He's a 30 something and has 4 kids to take care of. Like, do what's best for the rest of your
Oh,
life,
take
not
care of them
just
damn kids.
not
Okay.
just not just tennis wise, right? Speaking of somebody that needs to be kind of cautious of their body, number 4 seed Elena Rybakina, former champion here in
Ooh,
2022, she's been having a season. Like, the season hasn't been bad. She's won 3 titles at the 500 level, but she's also had some very curious losses and withdrawals due to illness and injury. She takes
yeah,
on Alina Gabriela Ruse. So eyes will definitely be on that one when she opens up court number 1.
yeah,
That's followed by Alexander Zverev, who takes on Roberto Carabes Baena. Zverev lost to Hubie Hurkacz, I believe, in the grass court lead up. So he has some form, and obviously he's coming off of
yeah.
his second Grand Slam final at Roland Garros. So, but Wimbledon has never been his favorite Grand Slam, so we'll see what
Right.
happens. He's the number 4 seed, and
Yeah, I have
then
no clue how he'll do.
kind of what could be a popcorn match to end number 1 court is Iga Swiatek, the world number 1, taking on former Australian Open champion Sophia Kenin. How do you see that one going, or how do you want to see that one going, Nigel?
Don't see anything happening. Um, but Kennen, especially since she's not having a great year.
Mm-mm.
Um, but I also like know that Kennen sees a big chance and she's like, this now's my chance. Like, let me try to bring all of it out. And it's so interesting how former champions can do that. Like, see a big moment and decide to like play like they haven't played in maybe 6 months.
I mean, and she did the exact same thing 12 months ago against Coco Gauff. Like,
Yeah.
she was not having a good season, but she got a top 5 scout basically against Coco Gauff last year. I mean, Iga, not to like say Coco and Iga are light years apart, but I do think it's a different kettle of fish to
Yeah.
play somebody that just won their 5th Grand Slam. Although Iga hasn't gone super deep at Wimbledon, she's still the number 1 player, and I give obviously the eggs to Iga, but I would not be mad if Sophia Kenin goes out there and like, tries to shift a wig or two. I wouldn't be mad at that.
And I think Kennen play her in Australia and she gave her like a maybe a
Yes.
7-5 set or something of the
Yes,
sort?
she surely did. This year they played each other
Yeah.
first round of Australia, and it was a 2-setter, but a tight 2-setter. Yeah.
Yeah. So she does have some. I think she even had her chances in that first set in that match. So she definitely sees red when she sees like a big player. Maybe she sees their draw and like, I want that draw.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't imagine it being different unless Iga for some reason has trouble. She hasn't played a warm up tournament on grass, so
Off day or something,
excuse me.
or just
Yeah, unless
can't get used to the condition, so to speak.
yeah, I was gonna say if she doesn't have like that, but she's improved her serve and everything from last year, so I think she'll be okay.
Yep. Number 2 court is highlighted by number 5 FC Jessica Pegula. She takes on Ashlyn Kruger of the United States. That's an All-American matchup. Number
Mm-hmm.
6 seed Andrei Rublev is opening up his Wimbledon campaign. Number 28 seed Jack Draper and British Hope takes on Elias Emer on court number 2. And then the last match on court number 2 is 2-time Wimbledon finalist Anj Jabeur taking on Moyuka Utajima of Japan. That could be a really good ticket, actually. If you want to just sit down and enjoy some good tennis, you might get some good tennis on number 2 court, actually.
Yeah, that they seem pretty straightforward, but
You
Maybe
never
Ymer will
ever
do
know.
something. Yeah, maybe Ymer will pop up against Draper. He's
But
been
that's not
playing
the
decently.
that's not Mr. Mikael. That's Elias.
No, no, no. That's not Mikael Ymer.
Mikael Emer.
No, that's that's the younger brother.
No, Elias is the older brother that kind
Oh,
of,
he's older?
yeah, Elias is, I'm pretty sure
Ah,
Elias is the older brother, and he kind of just hasn't really made a spark outside of challengers. But you never know. You never
okay.
ever know. I don't
I
know if
mean,
there's some,
yeah, I feel like he's been winning more the last few weeks, though.
I don't know, maybe there's a grass court in Sweden he's been practicing on, and he qualified to get to this part of the
Yeah,
main draw. So,
never doubt
good
a
for him.
qualifier.
Never ever ever. So I think based off of time, that puts us at a great place to wrap this thing on up for today. We've looked
Okie
forward to
doke.
day 2. I've had fun chatting with you, Nigel.
Me
Any parting
too.
thoughts? Any parting? I was crazy. We said this before we hopped on live. This is your first time on Tuned Into Tennis as like you and not a round table of people, because we always in the damn spaces chatting,
Running my damn mouth.
running our damn mouths. But I really, really do appreciate, just not even just today. I appreciate the support that you give to Into Tennis and
Oh,
sharing
absolutely.
stuff and engaging. I always appreciate that. I mean, you at the
Yeah.
you from the clubhouse days, and
Okay.
we won't go back
Club.
to the clubhouse days. The club at the
The
let out
club.
at the let
No,
out.
I appreciate you. Like, it really, honestly, your platform probably got me more into tennis than I was before. Like, I always was into tennis, but I wasn't watching it week to week. And then it was like the more y'all talked, I'm like, no, now I need to know who these people are. So I started watching it more. So I appreciate the space and getting on here and chatting with you and becoming friends and all that. So
I love it. One of these days we got to actually meet up in a tennis tournament
oh, absolutely.
and kiki and laugh at some of these players that we kiki and laugh at all the time.
Yes. You know, I got one that's my go-to, but I ain't gonna say. She
Your
won a
go-to
match
what?
today, so
Who?
the one that I make fun of.
Who won a
Zachary.
match? Oh,
You know
Sakura
why
girl.
though? It's because I used to support her and then she started
Right.
flopping. That's why.
You know what? Before you leave, I want you to flush out one of your theories on how Sakura is going to be important at the Olympics. Let the listeners listen to
Oh,
that theory.
the Olympics makes no sense. It's bound to be a flop that wins. And I just feel like the perfect person really is Zach. I don't know what it is. I could just see it. It's like right there. She's winning this gold medal match, and you're never gonna be able to tell her nothing again.
She's going to be like, I'm from Greece, where
I
the
got that
Olympics
gold medal.
basically started, and I got a
Okay.
gold medal.
And King Zeus himself said I was the one. I'm like, you know what? And you know what? I think I would be happy if she did, because I don't see her
Grand Slam
like the
champion
Grand
seems like
Slams.
a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, like a few years ago maybe, but I'm like now it's kind of out the window. But if you can get that gold medal, hey,
Put it on
your
your
country gonna
resume and
love you more.
live your best life.
You living good in Greece. I would do the same. Like, look, I'll retire right now. You gotta tell me
I
to do
mean,
nothing.
Dementieva won that gold medal, and in 2 years she was off the tour. So hey,
Look,
and Dementieva made the more Grand Slam finals and semis than Sakura did, but
yeah,
that's a big part of her claim to fame.
yeah. And so many people is out or out of. I mean, that never stops soccer from losing, but no
Oh my
shade.
god!
But like, hope. But I'm just saying, like, there's not a lot of people that's going to be in the Olympics that are, you know, in that caliber of
Mm-hmm.
ranking that she's at. So
We'll keep an eye on it, as we'll keep an eye on all things Wimbledon for the next 2 weeks. And Sakura girl,
yes,
do your best.
yes. Do you a big one?
do,
Might as well.
do your
If
big
it
one.
ain't,
If it ain't Wimbledon, try it at the Olympics.
yeah, exactly.
All right, Nigel, and everybody that's been tuning in and engaging on YouTube Live and Twitter/X Live, I appreciate y'all. Thank you again, Nigel, for popping in and tuning into tennis
Absolutely.
with me.
Thanks for
And we
having
will,
me.
of course, anytime. We will see you guys tomorrow to go over day 2 of Wimbledon 2024. It's been
Starless.
fun.
Just kidding.
It's been fun. Talk to y'all later.
All right. See you later. Bye.
Nigel, don't leave yet, because I got to make sure
Oh,
that this stream takes your audio the right way. So don't just leave the
oh, I
place yet.
got you. I got you.
But
All right.
everybody watching, peace out.